Welcome back to Adams Automotive. I've been working very hard on my truck here, and I haven't been recording a lot of it, but I'll show you guys what I've been up to. But first, let's take a look at that reflection. That looks pretty good. I buffed the cowl here, and if I pop the hood, I got the motor installed in the truck. So it doesn't run currently because the transmission's not on, and that's what the starter hooks up to, so you can't really crank it over. But we got the motor hooked up, got the carburetor, all the vacuum lines, distributor all hooked up, all the belts are on. I need to get electric fans for my radiator right here, but all the fuel lines, power steering, everything should be hooked up. I got my 1-wire alternator wired up in here with a fuse. And right here's my custom HVAC box that I made. So I have a few more things I still need to hook up. Like obviously I need to paint my transmission and put that in, and then I can finally put the headers and the spark plug wires back on. But I also have, like right here is a temp probe for a temp gauge that I have hooked up. Here's the factory one. So I'm gonna run that aftermarket one to another port back here on the back side of the intake. So then I can have 2 gauges that read my temperature, just make it a little more safer, so I can read my temperature accurately. But if we come inside the truck here, I've been working on a few things. We got a tack wired up in here, right on the column, which is perfect because the factory one would be right there, but I believe they only came on a diesel trucks from back in the day. I don't even know if the manuals had one. They probably did, but since mine's automatic, it never came with one. So we got one of those wired up. And then down here, we have my water temperature, my volts, and my oil pressure. I used to have an oil pressure gauge here, but now I got this 3-pack and I wired them all up. So now instead of having 1 gauge, I have 3. And as always, we have the lights underneath the dash. So let me go plug the battery in and I can show you guys that. So now I have the battery plugged in, and you can see those lights underneath the dash. Those are from the door being open. But if I close them and I flip my switch, where is it at? It's right here. Oh wait, you gotta have the key turned. There we go. I wired it to ignition, I forgot. But now we have lights on our gauges, all 3 of those, and the tack obviously. Then I have an aftermarket light right there, and an aftermarket light right there. So you can cruise down the road with the lights on the ground. And that's currently what I'm working on today. I'll show you guys in a minute. I wired those to the switch instead of wiring this to the actual headlights. Just because it was easier in the moment, and it's hard to get tapped into that factory wiring without messing something up, especially because the wires are so old. But today we're working on putting those 2 aftermarket lights that I have. I'm gonna throw 2 of those back here, probably off of the seat mount on either side, so it lights up the back seat a little bit. I wanted to put them like right in, like one, split this in thirds. I wanted one here and one there so it lit up the ground. But because this seat flips forward, there's no mounting brackets or anything right here, which I could add my own. But then if you flip this seat, I don't want to have to see it. So I'm going to go right off this mounting bolt right there on either side, and it's going to light up kind of like this wall and forward. So it should be better than nothing, because when you have the front lit up and not the back, it looks kind of weird in my opinion. So we're working on that today. So this is the design I have right now. It's tucked away in this corner, so if you flip this back seat up, you can see this is 22 gauge steel left over from that HVAC box I made, bolted to the mounting bolt to the seat. Tucked away in the corner, pointing forward, so that top hole is where that light's gonna go. And all the lights I showed you just a minute ago are hardwired in, so there's no plugs, there's butt connected together. But on these 2, I'm gonna put plugs on them, so then if I ever have to remove this rear seat, I can just unplug these. I guess I could always unbolt them too, but I'm gonna put them on plugs just so they're easily removable if need be. So we're gonna get the light in here on both sides, we're gonna wire them all up, and then I'm gonna remove this bracket and paint it, because right now they're just bare steel, which means they'll get rusty in here. Even though they're inside, the moisture will still get to them and they'll rot out eventually. So once we get everything wired up and I know they work, which shouldn't take too long, then we'll take these out and just spray paint them some nice black paint, and they should be good to go. And then we'll get a picture or some video of them with the lights off, so then I can turn these on and it'll be dark in here, and you can see how well they light the area up. So I got the lights installed. I didn't show you how to do it. I have another video showing like step by step how to wire these up, but I will be showing you the wiring here in just a few seconds. But I just wanted to show you guys a cool trick. So obviously my wires are black and red, so you know what's positive and what's negative. But on those little LED lights, there's a white and black wire. And you might think white is power and black is ground, just because, you know, black is normally ground. But on those little LED lights, right there you can see the white wire. The white wire is actually the ground, and the black wire is actually the power. But a cool little trick is you take yourself a battery for a drill or an impact. I don't know why my camera's so blurry. This one's almost dead, but it should work. So we're gonna take our black wire, and these Milwaukee ones are cool because you can see positive and negative. They're labeled for you, so I'm not sure if they're all like that or just Milwaukee. But I'm gonna plug this negative wire on the negative side, and this positive wire onto the positive side. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but just 1 second. There we go. And now you can see that light's on, and that light over there is on. So let me turn this big light off. Now that I got the light bar off, you can see those two little lights back there are lighting up. So now we know that everything's wired up correctly, and all we have to do is ground our ground, obviously, and then take our red wire and hook it up to the same switch that I'm using for the rest of my lights. Normally you would hook these up to different switches, but because these lights don't take a lot of power, I'm just gonna hook them up to one switch. So then all I have to do is flip one switch and all my aftermarket lights come on. So we'll start from the front here back, and I'll show you the wiring. I got my ground a little bit shorter, and my power, with this power is gonna be running to the switch. And I have it run over here underneath the kick panel here, and I have this plastic coating on there that you can get from like Harbor Freight, just because this truck does have some rust. You can see a little bit of hole there and a little bit of a hole there. I just didn't want it getting caught on the rust trunk and ripping my wires or causing them to arc out. So we have that protection there. I don't even know what that is. Then we have it ran right there. If this camera focuses, underneath the carpet. Or yeah, I'm gonna plug this in to make it easier to see. All right, now the light's back on. We can flip this up. We have it run underneath the carpet back here, up the wall. The switch, or not the switch, my bad. The plug is right here. It's separate, plugged in from this side to that side. There's a plug. Then we have it wired into this light, which is spliced together with these two wires. These are nicely coiled up, as you can see. I just had them tucked up in there, and then when you grab these seat belts that go on top of this seat, it holds them up against that wall. So those are coiled up all the way over to that side where they're wired into the other light. So I turned all the lights off, so now we can see these work. So I turned the key on. I gotta try to find my switch in the dark. There we go. So we have my gauge lights up, all three of those gauges. We have these front two lights. And then we have the back two lights here. These ones, like I was saying, since they're kind of in the corner, doesn't really light up all that much. I would like to have them in the middle. See where it's nice and dark right here in the middle. But there's nothing to mount them to. But it's definitely a lot better than it was. These ones kind of shine up towards the ceiling a little bit. I'm not going to be buffing the whole hood right now, but this is how it normally looks. Very dull. It's because it's got that patina on it. But here I just buffed a little section. And where this like bluish gray primer's at, that buffs out pretty well. As you can see, there's a reflection. It's not like show car perfect, but for being patina hood with primer, it's pretty shiny. And then here's where it's more like rusty. Doesn't really give you a reflection, which I wasn't expecting because it's rust, but it definitely is shinier and it looks cleaner. Here's the old and the new. So eventually, probably not today, but eventually I'm gonna buff the whole hood and then put a coat of wax on it, try to protect this patina from becoming actual rust. So there's like 3 ways you can clean up your patina. You could put like Poppy's patina or a linseed oil or something like that on it to clean it up. Or you could buff it like this. Or if you really wanted to, you could wipe it down with some lacquer thinner and then just clear coat right over your patina, which eventually I'll probably do on this hood. I'll probably just clear coat it, which like if the whole truck was patinaed, that's probably what I would do is wipe it down with lacquer thinner and just clear coat right over top of it. But because it's just the hood and I want it to last a while, I'm gonna be buffing it. Buff it the same as you would like your paint. It just won't come out as pretty. As you can see, it's definitely cleaner and shinier. Let's get the reflection. There you see the shininess, but it's not gonna have reflection like this primer will or like the paint does.